Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the United Kingdom. And today I'm working with the fabulous Sentimental Swirls stamp set, a really great stamp for doing background images, and I thought I'd create a little Ferrero project. Very quick, easy little thank you, perfect as a table favour, or if you're just going round to see someone who just wanted to do something a little bit extra. And this style of box has been around quite a while now. It's a no glue box, but obviously I've sized it for a double Ferrero. And what I've also done is I have created this little bit on the inside, little flap, so that it just finishes off that front edge, and it also helps keep it nice and tight so that when you are actually folding it together, that stays in a lot. Well, a lot. It stays in more securely than if you just have got the bottom flap where it's just loose. It just tightens it up a little bit. As you can see, the lovely swirl on this is absolutely super, and I haven't used these little butterflies before, and I thought they were so sweet. Just add a lovely little accent. So let's get started. I'm going to use the same colourway. So I'm using Gorgeous Grape and Fresh Freesia, and we're using basic white for the base. You're going to need a piece that is 28 by 12.5 centimetres. So if you want to do lots of these, you'd probably do best to make them out of, take them out of 12 by 12, because you'd get 2 from a sheet. You get 1 from a sheet of A4. I will try and give you the measurements as I go along. No, in fact, I'm going to double check my... okay, I'll try and do the inches. I'll try and do the inches as I go along. Anyway, I'll stop wittering on now. So, on your short edge, you're going to start off scoring at 1 centimetre, then flip it around, and we're going to score at 4.5, at 8, and at 11.5. In inches, you're going to need a piece that's 5 1/8 by 11 inches, and on that short edge, you're going to score at half, 1 7/8, 3 1/4, 4 5/8. Now, on the long edge, we're then going to score at, that's out of shot, okay, sorry about that, okay, 7, at 10.5, at 17.5, and at 21. That's 2 3/4, 4 1/8, 6 7/8, and 8 1/4. Okay, once you've done that, we're then going to do some trimming. And the first thing we're going to do is actually cut away these top corners. So I'm going to come down, and this is the back panel, so we're not leaving the extra there. So we're just going to trim this away, and obviously these pieces are a good size for stamping sentiments, so you're not going to throw those away, you're just going to put them to one side. When it comes to this edge, actually you can wedge it slightly, because these are tabs that are going to fold in, so you just want to take away a little smidgen off the side of them. Okay, just like that. On the next one, before I actually cut into those, I'm actually going to cut all the other tabs, and I'll explain why in a moment. So leave that section. We're then going to come down on these tabs as well. Let me put my trimmer away because I don't need that out now. There we go, might make life easier to see. So I'm going to come down on the tabs, straight, and then you're cutting away the little top section on your tabs as well. So just inside that score line on all 4 of those. And as I said, you can just take a little wedge just to create like a small angle on the side there. Just notching that out. Like so. Right. And this is why I'm actually cutting first so that we keep those scraps nice and clean to do our stamping. So this section stays intact. This one here, we're just going to do a little bit of trimming. So I'm going to fold the flaps out of the way. And you could do this with your scissors if you wanted to, up to you entirely. But at around about 1 centimetre, you're just going to cut that away and flip it around and do exactly the same. So again, fold those out of the way so you don't get tempted. And that's just to, as I said, just to kind of finish off that edge a little bit. So, last little bits to do then. We're going to just notch very slightly on those top and bottoms on that little skinny section where we're going to tuck in. And I'm going to do the same on those 2 tabs. Now, I've said it's no glue. You don't need to glue. If you wanted to glue, these would obviously stay. This would be the bit that I would glue, those little extra flaps. Okay, so we now have a section like this. And the way this is going to fold, we'll want to reinforce all of our score lines. Again, I'm doing all of this before I'm actually stamping, because on a little box you won't notice if there are any sort of lines, but it is important. And these ones in particular really need a good reinforce to make them stay down. Okay, so once we have done that, we can start our stamping. Now the way I did this was, this piece is coming towards me, so I kind of roll it up in the way and I then open it out, and we're going to stamp on this section here with our sentiment. So I'm actually going to use my gorgeous grape and then just come in the centre there. Didn't get that as square as I would have liked, never mind. And then we're going to come in with our little butterflies and swirls. And one of the lovely things about this stamp set is it's a kind of builder stamp set, so you can just add little bits on wherever you want. And if you haven't got a big swirl, you can add little swirls as well. It's also got, for the flowers and for the butterflies, you've got these solid shapes to do the colouring in. And I say I'm just using some fresh freesia there. And what I ought to be doing is using my Stampin' Pierce mat to get a really good impression. So what we're going to do now is pop this just on a scrap of paper. I'm going to close my ink pad up, the one I'm not going to use so I don't get it wrong. And because it's a big stamp, I'm going to take my ink pad to the stamp and simply repeat stamp all over this piece of basic white. And you can just sort of twist and turn until it's you like the area. I'm going to take a little wipe there. I've got a little bit of ink on the edges, so I'm just going to clean that up as I go along because we don't want that spoiling our effect. Again, just ink pad to stamp, and then you can just add little extra swirls wherever you fancy. And again, you can add those in. And then if you look at it and kind of go, oh, that's a bit of a bare patch, then you can just add with this an extra swirl. So here's a little sort of gap. So I could either use the big one, or I could come in, add a swirl, and another one coming in. And I say you can really go to town on this and have lots of fun. There we go. So I think that's probably enough for what I want to do. So all that remains is to quite simply roll this up, fold the bottom up and tuck in. Like so. And then we can just add a couple of Ferrero. Like so. And again, just tuck that little flap into the top. And there you have our no glue, fold up, double Ferrero. Thanks for watching. Do come back and see me again soon. And if you'd like to purchase Sentimental Swirls or any of the other Stampin' Up products, pop along to my shop at heidismith.stampinup.net, or use the links below the video in the description box if you're on YouTube or on my blog. Thanks for watching. Come back soon. Bye.